personal interests and hobbies, what are some of your favorite pastimes?
Well, actually, history is, and it's interesting because the Castilla was born out of a lot of interest in reading history and understanding the culture of the region where I was born and raised in. Additionally to that, I had a lot of love for being outdoors, and that's why I ended up being a geologist. And I have a deep sense of science, which is why I then focus in geophysics and geophysical engineering when I was working with Texaco, today known as Chevron. And so a lot of my pursuits of personal interests have ended up being part of my career, which is both good and at times difficult, because I find very little difference between the sense of work and the sense of play. And so I say that not only myself, but most people that become part of the Pedigree of Minerals group, it's not a job, it's a lifestyle. And it goes to show a lot about how I felt about my responsibilities in my profession, is that they don't really constitute work, they constitute interest, and perhaps things that I do in line with the fact that I like being in the country is I like animals, so I was exposed to horses in a very young age because my grandfather was a rancher. And part of our families, we always had dogs, so that's part of our life. I live an hour and a half outside of the main capital on the way to our mining project, and I've had that farm for now 33 years. My parents' farm is just 15 minutes down the road. So I've been a fortunate person to being able to intertwine my personal pursuits, my profession, and my personal life.
What motivated you to study geology, to get into that field? What specifically sparked you in that?
It wasn't like something came down, it was momentary. I think that the geology field was an evolution of being in the country, enjoying archaeology being part of where artifacts are made in gold and silver and gemstones, and an interest in gemstones, and then that evolving into then interest in rock. So it was sort of a evolutionary pathway, and so I think it wasn't done in one step. I think it was a series of steps that took me to that field.
Tell us a little bit about your passion for horses that you mentioned.
Well, I've been a very enthusiastic horse rider, both particularly Western horses, given that's what was ranching was put into my blood by the fact that I was born and raised a good part of every year during my childhood in a cattle and a ranching community. And in that sense, it's a very integral part of the society. When I was a child, there was actually 20 horses for every car in the region that I was, and of course today there's 20 cars for every horse. But I got to live that transformation of going from basically transportation being very driven and predominant by the horse to being transportation in the modern sense of automotive transportation. And for somebody to live that in 50 years ago was sort of the end of an era. And so I enjoy today everything that has to do with the horse culture, and to talk about the horse culture. And we breed Appaloosas and have been breeding Appaloosas for 30 years and have the core of all the Appaloosa bloodlines in Panama. We have over 75 registered Appaloosas. But we also are breeding Andalusian horses and pure-blooded Spanish. And we've been doing that for about a decade now. And so we enjoy participating in community festivities with our horses. We enjoy bringing horses to whatever activity we do on a personal basis. And living on a horse farm, you can imagine how integrated I am every day to that ambience.
And you also mentioned dogs. And what breed and are you? Do you
Well, I've been
enjoy?
a lot of breeds in my life. Because of the exposition to what my parents brought into our lives, which were boxers and Pekingese and later Chihuahuas. And I myself, in college and through my early professional life, had 2 Springer Spaniels, which were a big part of my life. And then my daughter, my second daughter, Christina, picked out a miniature Schnauzer that's what she loved. And lo and behold, I inherited them. And today we have a whole slew of Schnauzers at the farm. I guess that we're over a dozen now. And it all started because of the interest of my daughter, Christina. And so we all enjoy the Schnauzers. They're a great dog, very friendly, very personable, and we created quite the large community of them, not only on ourselves, but people that work with us or people that we know in our community all have undertaken or adopted or bought or received one of these Schnauzers. So it's something very enjoyable, and we actually are competing both nationally and internationally. One of our dogs, Veronica, is off competing in Montgomery, Pennsylvania this year, and maybe she'll garner some interest.
Excellent. I understand you have a great deal of passion for music. What kind of music do you enjoy?
Well, I'd say that as far as music goes, it's unlimited, and I can't say there's any particular music I enjoy more so, being from a diverse culture as Panama is, and then also being influenced by my travels and my studies and my work in North America, as well as in Europe. You could write quite the repertoire. I must have over 2,000 songs in my iPod, and I have to constantly be cutting some back because there's only just so many songs I can have online. But I'd say that it's really limitless, my interest in music.
Do you vary the music according to where you are, what you like to listen to?
Not really. I'd say that when I travel, which I do extensively, music's a big part of my travel, and I can use it to create tranquility so I can sleep. I can use it to create ambience so that I remember where I'm not. I can use it to create ambience to remember where I am. And by putting shuffle, I can adapt to the unexpected that the shuffle brings in the iPod.
Okay, I don't know if there's anything else that you wanted me to bring up.
Well, it is the first time, and so I'm sure there's more things to do.
Yes.
And we can edit it, look at it, learn from it,
Yeah.
and I view this as an ongoing process. No.
You will have to let us know when your availability is.
Well, you edit, get me the
What's the
product.
edit?
I mean, I view that you guys have lots of content already,
Yes.
not only just from this today, but from other things, and I haven't still seen the editorial aspect and the production aspect really start to take firm yet. I think we're just incipiently seeing it happen in the written word, but we're far from doing it into the video audio.